It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
I've been sitting on this story time for a minute. So here it goes. Part 1 of how I fell in love with The Lion King. Earlier this year, I went to Alabama for work and I met this man in the airport. We kind of made eye contact when I was getting my rental car the first time because I had to exchange rental cars. The first car they gave me was small. They tried to give me some little hatchback car and I was like, no. So I went back in there to get another car, and as I'm going in to get the other car, he's the only person that's like at the little counter. So I'm like, yo, can you help me? And he was like, nah, I can't help you, but I'll get the people. So I get my rental car, I go out to the parking garage, and then as I'm about to start putting my bags in my car, he comes around the corner and he's like, excuse me. And I was like, what's up? You came to help me put my bags in my car or something? He giggles or whatever. He like, yeah, I'll help you put your bags in your car. So he puts my bags in the car, and then of course he introduced himself. So we're chopping it up. He's asking me like where I'm coming from, why I'm coming, like, you know, why I'm traveling to Alabama or whatever, how long I'm gonna be there, da-da-da-da-da. Then he obviously is like, you know, I think you're very beautiful, and I'm just wondering if we can exchange numbers and maybe get to know each other while you're here. So I'm like, you know what? Cool. I give him my number, we exchange numbers, I leave. So we're texting for a couple of days. Conversation is A1. Let me tell you something about this man. This man might be a motherfucking liar, but the man can hold a conversation. And if you are a single woman in 2024 and you are dating or you're trying to date or you have people trying to talk to you, you already know. Men cannot fucking hold a conversation. They have nothing to talk about. They're not interesting. They're boring as fuck. They just have nothing to say. This man right here can hold a conversation. We were having good conversation for days. I'm talking like on the phone, on FaceTime, text messages. Like the conversation was top tier. So as we're getting to know each other, he tells me that he's 28 years old, no kids, never been married. You already know. I'm like, yes, period. I hit the jackpot. He did tell me that he was previously engaged to his ex-fiance, and he kind of told me like the rundown with their whole relationship. He told me that he was adopted. I don't remember the exact age he said he was adopted at, but he did tell me that he was adopted. That's important. Remember that. So after a couple of days of just like talking on the phone, getting to know each other, he asked me if I want to link up to go play pool. We link up, so that's technically, I won't call it our first date because it was just really like on some last minute, like, hey, what you doing tonight? Are you free? Do you want to go play pool type shit? And I was like, sure. So we go play pool and everything was cool. The vibes were cool. We were getting to know each other. I'm not a good pool player, so he was like teaching me how to play, but it was a vibe. We had a good time. After that, he did ask me like, hey, if you're free this weekend, I want to take you on a date. So I'm like, cool. Just let me know the details, you know what I'm saying? And we can, you know, figure it out. The weekend comes, he texts me, I'm going to take you here at this time, so, you know, be ready. So I'm like, cool, love that, love a man with a plan. I'm ready when you tell me to be ready. So he comes to pick me up, he has flowers, he's a real gentleman. Like, he gets out of the car, he's opening the doors for me. We get to the restaurant, he parks, he's like, don't touch that door handle, I'm coming to get you. He gets me out the car, he takes me in the restaurant, pulls out my chair. We're discussing, like, you know, what I'm going to eat, what he's going to eat, whatever. The waitress comes, he's ordering my food for me. He's like, oh, she'll have da-da-da. Love that. I love that. Anything that I needed in the restaurant, he's like hunting down the waitress, like, yeah, she needs this, she needs that. Like, it was all about me. Like, he was just so sweet, and so he seemed so selfless, and that's what really attracted me to him. The night ends, he takes me home. He's like, yeah, I'll text you later. You know, see you later. I had a great time. You know, hopefully you had a great time too, and maybe we can go on another date. So I'm like, cool, yeah, hit me later. We'll talk later or whatever. So now we're like a couple weeks into talking. I think we have been to like 2 or 3 more dates, but he's constantly bringing me flowers. He was off every Wednesday. So every Wednesday he was bringing me lunch. We were meeting up, or he was either bringing me lunch or we were meeting up for lunch for like a little lunch date, and everything was going smooth. Like, the vibes were so nice, and it felt good because my dating since being divorced has been a fucking disaster. So I'm like, okay, you know what, maybe there is, you know, light at the end of the tunnel. So I'm not gonna lie, after about a month, we're locked in. Like, we're seeing each other every single day at this point. Like, he's either coming to my place after work or I'm going to his place after work. We're doing dinner all the time. Like, we're cooking or we're going out. On the weekends, we're hanging out when he's off work. And like, we're locked in. Like, that's my man. Like, we're in love. I see no red flags. This man has me in my softest soft girl era ever. Like I told y'all, he's a gentleman. He opens every door. We go out places. I'm not carrying no bags. I'm not doing nothing. I used to get off work and I would like come to his place after work. He would take my boots off. He would cook. He would do everything. He would clean. I wouldn't have to do anything. Like on the days where I'm at his house, like I'm doing nothing. I'm coming in the house and I'm just sitting on the couch and I'm doing nothing. Like I'm just relaxing. When it was time for me to like get up and like, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go take a shower real quick. You know, I'll be back. He would go and like set the mood for me in the bathroom. So he had these LED lights. He would like turn them on pink because pink is my favorite color. He would turn the shower on for me. He would make sure I had a new rag and a new washcloth. He would make sure I had everything that I needed. He would get the stuff like out of my bag that I brought from my place and like make sure it's all set up in the bathroom so that I didn't have to like, you know, be looking for nothing. Everything is where I needed to be. When I'm in the shower, he would put my towel in the dryer and he would be like, tell me before you get out so I could bring you your towel and it's warm when you get out the shower. Like, this man was, in my eyes, this man was perfect. In my eyes, this man could do no motherfucking wrong. He could do nothing wrong. I am not exaggerating when I said that this man treated me good. He would rub my feet every night. I remember one time I mentioned this lip gloss that I bought. Matter of fact, it was topicals. I love topicals. Anyways, I bought a topicals lip gloss and I lost it at a concert. And I just kept saying like, oh my God, I freaking am so mad that I lost my lip gloss. Like, it was so good. It was my first time ever trying it. I loved it so much. I should have bought more than one, blah, blah, blah. And I came home from work one day and he had the freaking lip gloss for me. Like, he didn't even ask me where I got it from. He didn't even say anything to me. He literally, I guess, just Googled it, found it, went and got it, and was like, you know, here, because you keep bringing it up, so I wanted to get you another one because you lost it. Like, he was just so thoughtful and, like, selfless. And good. I had to study. I remember like the times where I had to study for like these exams and stuff that I had, and he would like set like the mood for me to study and like leave me alone, make sure there was like nothing else that I had to worry about. Also, when I was there, like I was away from my kids, so he would always like it reassured me that like I was being a good mom even though I was away. Like, this man was sweeping me off my damn feet. He also wasn't one of those guys where like, oh, I'm gonna take you on a date, let's just go to dinner. Like, we did picnics, we did like little games and stuff at the house. Like, he was so like thoughtful and cute. Like, he was teaching me how to play spades. Don't come for me. So like we would have like little nights where we would just like sit in the house and he would teach me how to play cards. Like, he was just so thoughtful and we always had so much fun. So I was just like madly in love with this man. So when I was there, he introduced me to like a bunch of his friends, and they had a trip planned for one of the friends' birthday. So it was supposed to be like a little couples trip because most of his friends were like married or like in a relationship. And he was like, do you want to be my plus one? Because mostly everybody that's going is like booed up anyway. So I'm like, oh yeah, sure. Like, you know, let me know when and let me know what I need to do or when we're leaving or whatever. Just let me know the details and I'll go with you. So the week of the trip, it's a Wednesday. I'm at work and I can't have my phone, so my phone is like away or whatever. I couldn't have my phone, I think, for like 30 to 40 minutes. I come back to my phone, I kid y'all not, I had like maybe 10 to 15 Instagram messages from his baby mama. So I step away from work and I am reading these messages and I am literally like, my heart is racing because I'm like, baby mama, what do you mean, baby mama? Like, I've been talking to this man now for over a month or maybe a month and a couple days or whatever. I've never seen him talk to a child. He obviously told me he didn't have any fucking kids. And I've been to his house. There's no toys there. There's no baby clothes. Like, what do you mean, baby mama? She sent me everything I needed to know in like all her first little correspondence. Like, she didn't give a fuck about nothing. Like, she was like bam, 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 like back to back to back to back, like bomb dropping, bomb dropping, bomb dropping. I'm reading this and I'm just like, what in the fuck? She doubled down and made sure that I didn't have no questions because she sent pictures of him. She sent pictures of the baby. She sent pictures of all three of them together. So it's not like he could ever be like, no, I don't know, this lady's crazy. No, she sent me every little piece of evidence and receipt that I needed. She even sent me like a side by side. I want to say it was like a picture of him and like a picture of the daughter. And she was like, look at the comparisons. Like, this is his child. Don't let him fucking lie and say that it's not his fucking child. So at this point, I'm going crazy. Now, mind you, this is a Wednesday when he brings me lunch. So I'm thinking in my head, like, okay, like, we're not going to start going crazy through the phone. We're going to wait until he brings you fucking lunch, bitch. And we're going to confront this man. We're going to ask him, like, who the fuck is your baby mama? And I thought you said you didn't even have no motherfucking kids. So what the fuck is this? So it was probably like maybe that happened like maybe an hour or two before he brings me lunch. So you know that shit is my blood is boiling. Like I'm still trying to talk to him regular, and I'm just like, dog, hurry up, lunchtime come on. He keep asking me like, what do you for lunch? And really I just want to be like, nigga, I don't want no food. Just bring your motherfucking ass here because we got some shit to talk about. And let me just read one of the messages. Like, it's really short, but I found the screenshot from like when he first initially started bringing me lunches. Like, he was just so fucking sweet. Like, he asked me, oh, can I bring you lunch tomorrow? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, so on Tuesday night, I'm gonna assume, I think this was like on Monday, but he texted me, it was like, so on Tuesday night, I need all your orders in my phone, LOL. And then he like spaced down in the same message, and it was like, I just cherish the ground that you walk on. So where I left off was when I got back to my phone from work. While I was at work and I didn't have my phone, whatever, I had messages from his baby mama. So the first message literally says, hello, do you conversate with this guy? And then it's like she's replying to my story, and she did it 3 times, like to 3 different stories. Hello, do you conversate with this guy? Hello, do you conversate with this guy? Then she sends a picture. Then she's like, hello, do you conversate with him? Hi, do you conversate with him? And she just keeps sending that. Keep sending that. Then she says, I'm just asking. I'm the mother of one of his children, and I was told something different from him. That's why I asked. So, mind you, I don't have my phone. So, she's just writing me, sending me all these screenshots of like text messages between them two. And then after she sends me like 10, 15 screenshots, she says, I don't want him. He's off my hands now. That's the lie that he's going to hit you with. Maybe you can help. She says his name, the 32-year-old manipulator, do right by his kids and get off child support. 32. This man told me he was 28. So I found the screenshot of when he told me how old he was. He said, I'm 28. I'll be 29 on blank. He says his birthday. Then he says, when's your birthday? No, I don't have any kids. I was engaged. My ex had a son though, so it was an amazing experience dating someone with a kid. Excuse me? Who the fuck lies about their motherfucking age? So, mind you, I'm at work. It's Wednesday, the day that he brings me lunch. So we're talking and like we're texting back and forth because literally, like I said, we text and we talk all day. So we're texting. He's saying that he's gonna go pick up my food, telling me what time he's gonna be there, blah blah blah. I'm playing it cool because I'm like, I have to ask this man in his face because what in the fuck? I cannot put this in a text message because one, I know, man, I put that in a text message. First of all, I'm not getting no lunch, and I was hungry. So I'm like, let me just not even say nothing because I want my food, and then I can ask him in person, and if he lies to my face, he's a psycho. So he comes, I get in the car, I get my food, and then we're like chopping it up, and like I'm playing it cool. He's telling me about like what he did earlier in the day, like he went to the mall, he did all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, what's wrong? Because he asked me something that he texted me, and I was just kind of like, oh, I don't even know. He's like, did you read my messages? And I'm like, yeah, I just got a lot going on today. Today's like a crazy day. And he's like, oh, like, what's up? He's like, your face is turning red. Like, what's wrong? Because I'm hot. I'm about to blow, nigga. And so I'm like, I got a question. Do you know somebody named blank? And I say his baby mama name. And he's like, no. And I'm like, so you don't know anybody named blank? And he's like, no. And he's like, well, I know a lot of girls, but no, like, what's up with her? I'm like, so you don't have a baby mama named blank? And he's like, no, but I have an ex named blank. So at the time, I didn't know that I was confusing. Like, when I asked him, I was confusing, like, his baby mama's name and his daughter's names, like, because they're very close. So when he said that he didn't know or he didn't have a baby mama name, whatever the first name was that I said, I asked him about his daughter's name. I'm like, well, do you have a baby mama named this? And he's like, no. And I'm like, so why did somebody write me today saying that she's your baby mama and you guys have a child together? And he said, you're gonna have to ask her. So then I asked him again, do you have kids? And he's like, no. And I'm like, are you sure? And he says, positive. And I'm like, I'm stunned. And then he even doubles down, y'all. He's like, you have 2 kids, so if you told me that you have 2 kids, then why wouldn't I just be comfortable telling you about my kids? Yeah, right, exactly. I'm with you when you write, my boy, because I'm trying to figure out why you didn't tell me you have kids if I have kids. Like, what? So then I'm like, so why did this girl write me saying this if none of this is true? And he's like, first he says, I don't know, but then he kind of like gets to stumbling over his words, and he's like, well, you know why she wrote you? Because she's my ex and she's mad that I don't want to be with her. She literally writes every single girl that I end up talking to. She stalks my Instagram, and then every time I get a new girl follower, she writes the girl follower, and she does this every single time. Like this, she's been doing this since my ex-fiance. I even asked him, like, well, who is this baby? Like, this little girl that she's trying to say is yours. Like, whose child? Like, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, you're just going to have to ask her. You're going to have to ask her about the child. And I'm like, well, God damn it, I'm going to ask about the fucking child. So at this point, I'm still like, I'm just trying to wrap my mind around everything he's saying. Like, and I'm like, why am I asking her? Like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna ask her, but right now I'm asking you. So like, I'm like, well, why am I asking her? Like, well, I'm trying to ask you, like, you, what's up? You know what I'm saying? He's like, this girl literally just wrote another girl that I used to talk to, that I just stopped recently talking to, and said the same thing to her. Like, I don't know why she's doing this. Well, I mean, I think she's just doing this because she's mad because I don't want to talk to her. So then he tries to say, like, oh, and like, well, I know she's recently mad because, like, once I started talking to you and fucking with you, like, I cut everybody off because I'm feeling you. So, you know, I didn't want to talk to nobody else. So now she's just mad and she's just DMing every single girl that I just recently followed, or like that is a recent follower of mine. And she's just like making up all these lies and telling them. Now, mind you, this man's Instagram is private. So you are allowing her to follow you, to stalk your followers, because you can't see somebody's Instagram followers unless you're following, like, unless you allow them to follow you if your page is private. So you know that she's doing this, but you're letting her follow you. That's okay. Like, that was a little crazy for me. But at the time, I didn't give a fuck. Like, I didn't give a fuck about none of that. I'm just trying to figure out, why are you telling me you don't have no kids? And this lady is sitting here hounding me about you being her baby daddy. So I haven't even gotten to the point of him lying about his age. Like, I haven't even got to the point to be like, okay, so also, why are you 32? But I'm still stuck on this, like, why would you lie about having kids? Like, this is crazy. So he basically shuts it down, saying, like, you know, if you want to know anything else, like, if you have any other questions about this baby or anything, like, you gonna have to talk to her. Like, that's not my child. I already told you that. I ain't gonna enough to say. Like, that's just what it is. Now, mind you, up until this point, this man has been super sweet, super gentle, like, very open, you know, can have a conversation. But when I tell you, this conversation, that man shut me down. He was basically like, yeah, I'm not saying nothing else about this. So, like, what else do you have? Like, his whole demeanor changed. He was not this, like, soft, gentle, like, nice person that I know. This man had an attitude. He was very, like, stern. He was very just like, yeah, bitch, we're not talking about this no more. Like, he didn't say that, but, like, his demeanor came off, like, very, like, mean and, like, an attitude. So I'm on top of being like, damn, is this the lie? I don't know what the fuck going on. And on top of this, now you're acting guilty as fuck. So we're in the car, and then, like, basically after he's kind of like, well, what else do you have? I'm like, I don't have anything else, because at this point I'm like not scared like he's gonna do something to me, but I'm scared because you just lied to my face. Like, you're a liar. Like, I'm literally seeing you go from, like, black to white. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, night and day. Like, your whole shit just switched up on me. Like, I literally watched the nigga switch up on me right in front of my face, and it was terrifying. So I just grabbed my food, and I'm like, well, you know, well, thanks for the food. Yeah, and I just get out the car. Now, let me say this. From the moment that girl said I'm his baby mama, she was sending me pictures of him with her and the baby, him and the baby. I want to say she even sent me, like, a side-by-side of the baby and him. So, like, I knew for a Fendi fact that this was his daughter, because this little girl looked just like him. So, you know, I get my lunch, I go to my car, I'm sitting in my car, I'm eating my lunch, and then he sends me, like, this long-ass message, and he's basically saying, like, pick a side. Like, either you're going to believe what this bitch is saying, and you're going to, you know, go investigating with her, or you're going to still keep fucking with me, but you got to pick a side. Like, literally, the end of his message says, I'll let the clowns enjoy the circus and simply remove myself, because like I told her, I'm at too much peace right now for the bullshit, so pick a side. So I call him, because I'm like, pick a side? Nigga, do you have kids or what? Like, what do you mean? You can't just be like, I said I don't have kids, so believe me, and fucking what the fuck? So I call him, and then he texts me immediately back and says, on the phone with my mama. So I'm like, okay, well, just call me back when you get on the phone. And he's like, respond to my text. I don't want to talk because I may say something I don't mean. Again, this man was very open, could talk and all that, blah, blah, blah. Now he don't want to fucking talk. So I'm like, well, you know, we can just talk later in person, because I just don't feel like this is the conversation that we should have in text messages. So I also responded to him. It was kind of like, you know, I don't really like your response, or like the way you're trying to go about this on the, like, pick the whole side thing, because I feel like, one, you can't just say no and then think, oh, okay, yeah, my man's not lying. No. Like, you have some explaining to do. So I'm like, you know, let's just talk later, like, in person, and, you know, we can get to the bottom of this. And I feel like, you know, you got a couple of hours to like get off work so that you can figure out how you're going to kick it to me and tell me the truth. And I'm like, well, he texts me that. He texts me like, as soon as he drops off, he's like, you're basically going to have to pick a side. And I'm like, well, we should just talk in person because, like, no. So he's like, basically, he's trying to avoid me. He's like, we need to figure this out right now. Like, I'm about to read the message that he said. He said, I'm just not with the drama. I like where I'm at. I don't care about screenshots. Oh, because I screenshotted, like, where she was like, maybe you could help blank the 32-year-old manipulator get off child support or whatever she said. And he's like, I don't care about screenshots. If you're doing all that, then you have picked a side. You can't guilt trip me by sending me these things and trying to make me say what you want me to say. There's no gray area with me. I told you what it was, and it's up to you to tell me where we stand. Very simple. What? Now, let me just go ahead and say, like, I know y'all are probably like, well, girl, fuck him. He lied. He got kids. You know he got kids. You can see that. Yes, I know. This is where my dumbassness comes in because I'm just like, I'm shook because, again, this man has been perfect. Yeah. Like, and at this point, I should have known, like, it was, like, too good to be true because he was just, like, such a freaking good man. So I text him back, and I'm like, well, we could just talk when I get off. And he's like, well, after I leave the gym, I'll let you know when you can come get your stuff. We can just go our separate ways again. I'm not with the drama and letting you or her bring it to me. So I'm like, you lied to me? You trying to dump me? So we do end up going back and forth for like the rest of the day that I'm at work, and he's basically just saying like he don't want to talk to me, like I basically already picked a side, I'm doing too much. Like he just starts like flipping the fucking script on me. So right before I get off work, now mind you, like I said, every day I'm either going to meet him at the gym where he's playing basketball, or like going like straight to his place, or like as soon as I get off work, if he's off work, like he's coming to my place and we're like figuring out dinner. Like this has been our normal routine. I have stuff at his house, he has stuff at my house, like. So I'm about to get off work, and I'm just like, you know what? We will talk in person. And y'all, he is avoiding me. He texts me, and he's like, I told you to pick a side. I know what this is. If you would have chilled and let it play out, you would have saw what's up. I was going to have my mom call you, but instead you entertained it. So with that being said, I removed myself. She did this with my ex, but it didn't work. So I reward disloyalty with distance. That's all. So I have no interest to continue to talk to you. No one is mad at you. No bad blood. I'm just good on you. So again, I'm like,
she gotta win.
You lied to me. You bamboozled me. I'm coming to ask you about some girl that's writing me, telling me about you and your kids, and you want to talk, you're good on me. You reward this loyalty with whatever the fuck he said. I'm just like, nigga, like what? So I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Like, so do you have kids? It's like, is that why you're trying to just like end it because you're like, damn, I got kids, fuck. Now I'm over with it. You know what I'm saying? So then he sends me like a really long ass message, and he's like, you were sending me screenshots. It shouldn't even have got this far. Like if somebody would have DM'd me and said something about you, I would have even responded. I would have just deleted it and blocked them because they're just trying to steal our joy. If I told you I didn't have no fucking kids, and then my baby daddy messaged you, or my ex messaged you saying like, yeah, that's my baby mama, and da-da-da-da, you would not block it and just be like, oh yeah, whatever, I'm not worried about that. You know, nigga, you would be like, bitch, you got kids, why the fuck you didn't tell me? Like, you would be in the same boat as me. You'd be trying to figure out why the fuck I lied to you. So I get off work, and I'm calling him, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna meet you at your place. Like, even if I'm just coming to get my stuff, that's cool, but like, just meet you at your place, and I'm gonna get my shit. Y'all, why I'm driving to this man's house, and I'm driving this way to go to his house, I'm about to turn, like I'm driving straight, and then there's a turn to go to his neighborhood. I'm about to turn to go to his neighborhood, and I see this nigga driving in the opposite direction. So I'm calling him again. Now, mind you, like, again, usually when I get off work and I'm calling him, like, we stay on the phone until I get to wherever I'm going or whatever. Like, we're always talking. But he would not stay on the phone with me. Like, he wasn't being, like, too rude or whatever, but he was just like, all right, yeah, like, come get your stuff, like, whatever, like, yeah, I'll be here, da-da-da. So we're off the phone, but I see him driving in the opposite direction, so then I'm calling him, and I'm like, calling him, he's not picking up, so I'm still driving to the crib, because I'm like, whatever, I'm still going to the house. So I go to his house, I park, and I'm blowing him up. I'm like, dude, why the fuck would you be going in the wrong direction? Like, why are you going in the opposite direction? So I'm calling him, texting him, he's not answering. So he finally texted me. He said, your stuff is outside. Y'all, this man put my shits in a garbage bag and put my shits outside.
He was not playing.
I was pissed. So then I go like and get my stuff or whatever, and I'm in the car and I'm like blowing this nigga shit up because I'm like, at this point now I want to fight. Like earlier I was trying to be understanding and I wanted to talk, but now I want to
giving you an out.
why would you put my shit outside? And I'm talking, I had like sneakers, clothes, like I had shit over there. He put my shit outside. I was pissed. So I'm blowing him up. Of course he's not answering. The nigga done went somewhere. I don't even know where the fuck he went. So I think I only stayed out there for maybe like 10-15 minutes, and I ended up calling my best friend, and I'm pissed. I'm going the fuck off. I'm like, this nigga, he lied. He got kids. He's not even 28. This nigga's 32. Like, what the fuck else could he possibly have lied to me about? Like, he was so perfect, blah, blah, blah. I go home, and I'm just like...
She's stuck on perfect.
My heart is broken because, y'all, I thought he was the love of my life. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. I just knew I found me one, and I was fucking wrong. So, obviously, didn't talk to him again. The next day, I just could not stop thinking about that shit. I didn't, like, hit him up anymore. Like, he didn't talk to me anymore either. But I just could not stop thinking about that shit. So, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. The nigga, I'm not talking to the nigga no more. So, I'm about to hit the baby mama up. We about to get to the bottom of this shit.
God.
So, while I'm at work, I message her on Instagram. And I'm like, hey, like, what's your number? Because I'm going to call you later. So, she sends me her number. And when I get off work, I call her. So, she's basically telling me that... they obviously have a child together, that they just recently started talking again because they didn't talk to each other for like a year. He was only communicating to their daughter. And she's basically saying like, you know, he came, so this was this year, so this is 2024. So she's basically saying like he went to back home, like where they're from, for his birthday, which is in November. And then he went down there again for Christmas. So then after he went down there for Christmas, I guess that's when they started communicating again because he was saying that he wanted his family back. Oh, this is also important. The baby mama at first was really cool. Like, she was just answering all my questions. She was giving me all the information. Like, she was just telling me, you know, everything that I was wanting to know. Like, she was very open. She was very, like, honest from what I could tell. She was very nice. She was sweet. She wasn't rude. She didn't have no attitude. Like, we was really just having, like, a cool conversation. So she said that he came for Christmas, and so Christmas of last year was saying like, you know, he wanted his family. Now she did say like before in their prior relationship, like he was manipulative and like she knows about all the stuff that he did, but she was like, this time it seemed different, it seemed genuine, like he was really changing, he was putting action behind his words, so she was kind of like going along with it. Also, this is going to be important, like towards the end, she was saying like, you know, her daughter really loves her dad and like that he's a good dad and that she really wants them to like be together, like she loves her mommy and her daddy together, you know, normal shit, but just remember that. She also said that they were talking about having another baby because he knew that she wanted another baby, and she was kind of like on some like, I don't want to have two baby daddies, so you know, if we could work it out and be a family, like I want to have another baby, so like let's figure this out so we can, you know, have our family, have another baby, you know, do us. So after she's done explaining all of that, I'm like, okay, girl, cool. So does he have like more kids besides your daughter? This lady came out her mouth. You know what? I really want to play because I was recording the conversation. I hope I don't go to jail. But I really want to play y'all my reaction when this lady answered my question when I asked her, do he have other kids? So let me just say this. At the time, I was only recording a conversation because I have a really bad memory. So, like, I knew that me and her would have probably been talking for a while and I wouldn't be able to remember everything. And because it was on the phone, like, I wouldn't have nothing else to reference. You know, just receipts. You know how we are. We keep receipts. So I really was only recording the conversation at first because I'm like, I need to go back and listen to this so I could be, like, remembering what the fuck she said.
Your daughter?
Yeah.
How many kids?
He has 6 baby mamas.
This girl said he had 6 baby mamas. You said what, Miss Girl? She said he had 6 kids by 6 different women, and like they all follow each other and they all like get their kids together and everybody knows everybody, and it's just one big motherfucking Brady bunch. She even was on the phone trying to like keep going, and I'm like, no, ma'am. No, ma'am.
You opened this door.
What? Like, you gotta, you know that sound where it's like, put your clothes back on.
I bet she want to know more.
It was like that moment. Like, ma'am, hold on. We got to sit at this for a minute. 6 kids by 6 different women from a man who told me he didn't have one. So, obviously, I'm on the phone and I'm talking to this girl and I'm like, yo, he said he didn't have no kids. Like, I'm telling her how I even asked him, like, when we first met, like, you got kids? He said no. And I'm telling her, like, look, I got kids, so I wouldn't have judged him for having, well, 6 kids is a lot. That's a crowd. But you know what I'm saying? Like, if he would have been like, yeah, I got kids, like, we could have figured that part out. And as I'm talking to her, I'm also telling her, because I'm remembering, like, damn, me and this man had a conversation about, like, I asked him, does he mind talking to women with kids? And he's like, no, I don't mind talking to women. I don't mind talking to women that, like, already have kids. He was like, honestly, I want to have my first child with somebody who already has kids, because I just feel like they'll be more experienced and, like, they'll be able to help me be a better dad, as a first-time dad, like, somebody that's a woman that's already experienced, that's what I actually prefer. So now that I know what I know now, the rest of this conversation I would have never had with this girl. We ended up, like, kind of like going back and forth on, like, I'm telling her, like, what he was telling me, and then she's kind of like debunking everything that I said. Like, I'm saying, like, oh, he told me about a fiance that had a child and blah blah blah. She's like, well, I don't really know about a fiance, like, I've never heard of that, like, I don't really know. And then of course, then I get to ask her more questions and more questions, because I'm not going to be able to get no answers from this man, but I need to know what the fuck going on. So let me give y'all a little context on how this man is even sicker, because so he told me that he had an ex-fiance and they were together, or like they were together for 3 years, I think, and then he proposed to her. The day that he proposed to her, she told him, like, I'm pregnant. He even told me, like, this, oh my god, he even told me, like, the place, like, he gave me, like, a whole, like, he set the mood, like, he set the scene for me, like, told me where they went, because mind you, I'm in the town that he said that, like, that he lived in, that he proposed to, so I know the place that he's talking about. He's like, yeah, that place, da da da. He's like, yeah, so I went there and I, like, proposed in front of, like, everybody in this restaurant, and it was so nice. And then he was like, as soon as he got done proposing to his fiance, she tells him she's pregnant. So she's pregnant, they're engaged, this is gonna be, his first baby. Everything's cool, everybody's happy, whatever. A couple of weeks after their engagement pregnancy announcement thing, she's like, hey, she comes to me, she's like, hey, I want to go out of town with my homegirls. So he's like, oh, okay, cool. He said that he gave her money. I don't remember if he said he gave her the money before she left or while she was in Atlanta. She texted him and asked him for money, but he was specific that at some point there was an exchange of $500. So he gives her $500. He always, so mind you, like, he was always telling me, like, he took care of her, like, they lived together, the son lived there with them, and, like, he always made it, like, wanted me to know that, like, he paid all the bills and, like, he took care of her. Like, that was, like, his thing. Like, he really wanted me to know that, like, I'm, like, a provider, like, I'm the man, I'm gonna take care of, whatever. If I'm with my girl, I'm gonna take care of her in whatever she needs or whatever. So the $500 gets brought up. He's like, yeah, just remember that. Like, as he's telling me the story, he's like, remember the $500. So I'm like, oh, okay. So he's telling me the story. She goes to Atlanta, whatever. She comes back from Atlanta. So when she comes back from Atlanta, again, this man is a gentleman. So he goes outside to her car. They lived in an apartment. What's crazy is the apartments that I was staying in at the time, he claimed that was the apartment that they were living in. Like, he was like, yeah, we stayed in these apartments. I'm temporarily in these apartments because I'm only there for a little while. But he's like, yeah, this, like, we were here living in this apartment. They were brand new. Like, he's telling me all of these things, y'all. And he's like, yeah, so when she came back from Atlanta, I go downstairs to get her stuff out of the car because, again, he's a gentleman. He doesn't let people, like, he doesn't want women to, like, carry bags and, like, shit like that. So he's like, I go downstairs to get her bags out of her car. And as I'm getting her bags out of the car, I find a paper, like a pamphlet from, like, Planned Parenthood. But there's also, like, paperwork in, like, it's like a folder from Planned Parenthood, and it has, like, paperwork documentation inside the folder. So he's like, I open it and I'm reading it and I'm confused. So I'm like, what the fuck? And so he's like, he gets the paper, gets the bags, he goes upstairs. So he said he goes upstairs and puts the bags down, and he's like, yeah, so, how was Atlanta? And she's all like, oh my god, I miss you so much, like, it was such a good time, thank you so much for letting me go, like, she's so happy to be back or whatever. And he's like, yes, how you feeling, how's the baby? And she's like, oh, everything's good. Then apparently he, like, slams the little photo down, and he's like, so what the fuck is this? And baby girl just bust out crying. So he said they were, like, going back and forth. I want to say he said, like, at first she wouldn't say what it was. Like, she was just like, oh, I went to just go get some information. It's nothing, like, why would you be going, like, through my car type shit? And he's like, girl, why the fuck is your pregnant ass at Planned Parenthood? Like, what's tea, sis? And she just wouldn't really say nothing. So he said that he left. He was mad or whatever. And he left and he went to his mom's house. And he stayed at his mom's house for like a couple of days. And he told, like, before he left, he told her, like, you know, when you're ready to tell me what the fuck is really going on, like, then hit me up. But, like, until then, I'm going to go stay at my people's house. So he left and went and stayed at his people's house. And basically was like, just staying at his mom's house, wasn't going to work, was like depressed because he was like, what the fuck happened to, what did my girl do? Like, what's up with my baby? So he said after a couple of days, I think the girl texted him and was like, can we talk? And so he's like, yeah. So then he goes back to like their apartment and she's like, so yeah, I had an abortion. And he's like, well, why the fuck would you have an abortion? Like, we're engaged, you know, we're in a good relationship, you know, I want a baby, like, why would you get an abortion? And she said that she cheated on him because apparently this girl was in the Air Force and she was going back and forth to DC, and like she had another man in DC apparently, and she went to DC one time and was, you know, fucking on the man, didn't use protection, so she wasn't sure who the daddy was. So instead of like telling him that she, you know, cheated on him, whatever, she just went to Atlanta, got an abortion, and was like, let me just nip this in the bud. So after she confesses about the abortion, he's like, well, you know what, I can't be with you no more. Like, this is over with. I'm not even gonna like kick you out like immediately. Like, you and your son don't gotta get out right now, but like you and your son gotta go find somewhere else to live. Like, y'all can't live here no more. I'm gonna go stay at my people's house until you move out and get your shit together, like out of this place or whatever. And yeah, I never want to talk to you again. And he was like, yeah, and I never spoke to her again after that. And I'm thinking like, damn. And like, mind you, I'm in this man's face, like he's telling me the story in my face, and he's like almost in tears, low-key. Like, I remember like consoling him, like, you know, I'm so sorry that like you went through that, because again, I'm just thinking he's this sad ass man who just wants a family so bad, and he just is shit out of fucking luck because, you know, the bitch was trifling and she fucking cheated. So he even tells me about like the ring. Like, he's like, you know, I had my mom hit her up because he's like, I never wanted to speak to her again. Like, I was like dead ass standing on business, I never want to talk to her again. So he was like, I had my mom reach out to her to like mail me the ring back, but she never would, so I only have the band, like the band part to the ring. Y'all, I found the band part to this ring. One time I was like looking for something. Actually, I was probably snooping. I don't fucking know. But yeah, I was like looking through the shit, and I found the fucking wedding band. And I remember this is like, I know I'm funny, but anyways, I remember putting it on and like taking a picture of it and sending it to my best friend. Like, bitch, I think this is the band that he said that he had when he fucking engaged or fucking proposed to the girl. And she was like, bitch, why do you have that on? But anyway, so yeah, that was the whole story with the ex-fiance. And so I was kind of telling a little bit about that to the baby mama, and she's like, yeah, I don't know nothing about that. Like, I've never heard that, so I'm not, like, I can't tell you if that's true or not. So also, as I'm talking to the baby mama, she tells me about another girl that she had messaged that was also in the same town and had been talking to him around like the same time that I'm talking to him. So I remember it was Easter. I stayed the night at his house the day before Easter. So Easter morning, when he got up to go to work, I got up and I went home. And he's like, you know, like, we're regular shit. I'll see you later when I get off work. So I'm like, okay, cool. So now during the day, he was kind of like mentioning to me that like his brother or somebody might be coming in town. So he might be like linking with his brother and his peoples when he gets off work. So he wasn't sure if we was going to link the night of Easter, but he would like let me know because, you know, the people was like not sure or whatever. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. As the baby mama is talking, she's telling me like, oh yeah, I was talking to this girl and she basically said like, yeah, I just cut him off because I was over there on Easter and something was off about him and I feel like he was lying. So when I left his house on Easter, I cut him off and I didn't talk to him no more. And the baby mama was saying like, oh, this makes sense because I was asking him if I could come down there on Easter to bring the baby so that they could spend Easter together. And he was like, no. But it's like, yeah, bitch, he said no because he was juggling me and Shorty. And not only that, the other girl was at his house on Easter with her kids. Yeah. So after that day that I talked to the baby mama, I ended up hitting up the other girl because I'm like, what in
oh my God.
So I hit the other girl up and me and her get to chopping it up and she's like, yeah, girl, like I met him in January I don't remember where she said they met, but she basically was saying like, I met him in January, and you know we've been talking ever since. She doesn't live in the same town, but she lives like in Alabama, so she was like driving to like see him. Like she would drive from wherever she was from, I don't remember, wherever she lived, and she would like come to see him, and she would always stay at his house, and she would bring her kids with her. And again, she didn't know that he had kids. He kicked it to her like, I don't even have no kids. So when she would come and bring her kids, he would be like playing with her kids. Like she even showed me pictures of of him playing with her kids in his living room on Easter. She said that he like was telling her like, yeah, come see me, I miss you, whatever. And so she's like, okay, well, after I get done on Easter with my kids, like I'm gonna come that way before I head home. She was somewhere else, I don't fucking know, whatever, it doesn't matter. But she was like, I'm gonna head to see your house, I'm gonna stay the night at your house, and then we'll get up in the morning and we'll go home like after Easter, whatever. So she said that she came into town, picked up his keys because he was at work, picked up his keys from him at work, went to his place, and then her and the kids was like sitting there chilling. She even sent me a picture of like when she first got there, because she was like, she walked in the house and there was no food in there, and so she had went to get her kids some food. So there's a picture of her kids sitting at his island like eating fucking dinner, like waiting on their fucking stepdaddy to get home from fucking work.
Damn.
And she was just like telling me everything, like telling me like, yeah, when I was in there wasn't nothing there, because I'm asking her, I'm like, you ain't seen none of my shit in there? And she was like, no girl, I don't know what he did with your shit, but it was not in there. And I'm like, this is so crazy. And then she's like, yeah, well, I was there, I stayed the night, and then he got up the next day and went to work, and it was like, you know, y'all don't gotta leave right now, like just come bring me my keys whenever you are ready to hit the road. So she said she like slept in, and like then the next day she took the kids or whatever. But she was also telling me like, you know, this man was perfect, like he was a gentleman. He was getting the stuff out of the car, he was setting the fucking mood in the bathroom for the shower. Like she was like, girl, he was always making sure that like I had to do nothing. He was taking care of the kids, like
take no
set
and
like
mood
doing all
in the
stuff.
shower.
Like, she was like, this man was so perfect. Like I really was like fucking with him, and I thought that we were gonna end up being something. But she was like, something on Easter like made her feel weird or whatever. Like she just said like he was acting different, or like something happened, I don't remember exactly, but something happened to where when she left his house on Easter, she was like, yeah, I'm just not fucking with him no more. So she just stopped talking to him. So now back to the conversation with the baby mama. The baby mama is then going into detail after she tells me about like the other girl, and we kind of like, you know, sort all that out. She's going back and she's telling me like about how they met. Like she met him a long time ago, I think when she was like 12 years old, whatever. They went to high school together, and then she got pregnant after high school. And then she tells me like, yeah, after I got pregnant, she finds out that another girl is pregnant at the same time as her. So then she's telling me like, he always told her like, you know, he really wants to do right by her daughter, and like he really wants to have another kid because he wasn't there whenever their child was born, and apparently he wasn't there when any of his kids were born. She tells me that like he wasn't there when none of his kids were born, so like we were talking about having another baby, so like he could feel like he did it like the right way. Like he was saying he really wanted to be there, you know, for like the birth and like all the stuff that he missed with all his kids. Like that's something that he really wanted, and once they got their whole shit together, they had another baby, he was gonna do it the right way.
Sound like a lot to me.
Her, like, again, I'm trying to ask her everything that like he told me to see if like, you know, she could tell me what's up. So I say, so is he adopted? This girl said, no, he's not adopted. I'm like, he's not adopted. So at the time, I'm like, he's not adopted. What do you mean he's not adopted? So he's not 28. He does have kids, and he's not adopted. I mean, that's not really like, I don't really give a fuck. But like, why did you lie about being fucking adopted? Now stay with me because that's gonna be important here shortly. Now, when the baby mama first wrote me, like I feel like her intentions at the time, I thought her intentions were pure. Like she was saying like, you know, I just wanted to give you all the information so that you can make your own decision, like if you wanted to still fuck with him or not, but I needed you to know like the real him type shit. And I'm like, you know what, girl, thank you, because what in the fuck, like who is this person that, like the person that you're telling me about, I don't know him. I know the 28-year-old with no kids that was treating me like a fucking princess. You know what I'm saying? So again, I'm thinking her intentions are pure. I'm thinking she's all like girl type shit. Like I'm just looking out for you, girl. Like this is who the fuck he really is. So take with that information as you will. If you choose to fuck with him, that's on you. But just know he's a fucking liar. Oh, and he's not 32. He's 33. He turned 34 this year. And the girl was basically telling me like, you know, the baby mama, she was telling me like, you know, he's like the only dude that I've ever really like been with because he met me when I was young. I'm 27 and he's 33. So like, I've been like in love and like stuck on him because, you know, he made me young and whatever the fuck. And then she's telling me that he really moved to Alabama because like he wanted to like, I guess, live this life that the life that he wanted to live, like be able to tell people what the fuck he wanted to tell them instead of actually being like in his true fucking self. Like he wanted to like start over and have like a life, this life that he created in his fucking head, and he didn't want to have like the drama of like his baby mamas and his kids. So basically he said, I'm fucking leaving home and I'm going over to this other state and I'm about to start me a whole new fucking life. Fuck y'all.
Damn.
Y'all, so I also forgot, because I'm listening to the voicemail
Good
of
idea.
baby mama. I forgot that. So when I confronted him about the baby on Wednesday, because the baby mama actually messaged me on Tuesday, but it was in my requested messages and I didn't see it until Wednesday. But on Tuesday he texted me like in the morning, was like, hey baby, I'm gonna delete my Instagram because I want to take like a social media cleanse. Now mind y'all, this man is not no fucking influencer. Like he does not have a bunch of fucking followers. I think he has like 1,000 something followers. His page is private. Like he has like this little business that he's trying to do. So like all he ever posts about is like his business. This nigga's Instagram is not popping to where you would feel like, oh my god, this is overwhelming, let me take a break. But at the time I'm like, who am I to fucking judge or fucking bring up your fucking spiritual healing journey, whatever he fucking kicked it to me as. He was basically saying like, I'm about to leave my social media because I need a break or whatever. So I'm like, cool, whatever, I don't give a fuck. But as I'm talking to the baby mama, she's like, yeah, he was trying to delete his Instagram before I found you because I was on his ass. I was asking him like, who are these girls that you got coming in and out of your house? And then she started doing like her research and shit on
How she know?
and he was trying to deactivate it before he could find me and he could find the Easter girl. So the man deleted his Instagram, but then the day after I confronted him, so he deleted it on Tuesday, and then it was either like Monday night, Tuesday morning, and then we did it to Wednesday. We don't talk Wednesday and Thursday, but then Friday, the fucking Instagram is back. So what kind of fucking 2-day cleanse realignment did you need from social media, and now you back good? No, nigga, you was trying to be 2 steps ahead, but your baby mama is quick. When I first met him, he also told me that he went to California to go to school to finish his degree to be like a sports agent. He said that California ended up being expensive, so he ended up moving back to Alabama to finish school. And then he tried to be like a sports agent or something, or manager or something, and he did not like that. The baby mama was like, girl, he never even fucking finished college. I actually think she said he never even went to college. And so then I'm telling her like, okay, so that's a lie too. And then you say he's not adopted. I saw pictures of his adopted mom. He showed me pictures and text messages of his adopted mom. So who is this fucking lady? She's like, girl, I don't know who this lady is. And I'm like, he literally said that we're going to go eat dinner with his adopted mom. And she's like, well, girl, I don't know who that is. Like, I'm not sure about that. I don't know. So then she starts telling me like, yeah, I talk to him all the time, like when he's at work, from his other phone. Now, mind you, I knew he had 2 phones. I had 2 phones at the time too, so I didn't care. Like, who am I to judge? I got 2 phones too, so whatever. But he told me that his second phone was his work phone. It even had a damn screensaver as his job. So who am I to be like, you know, again, I just believed everything he said because I didn't fucking think he was lying. I didn't care. Whole time he was using that phone to talk to his baby mamas, his kids. I don't think it's a work phone. I don't even know at this point if it's a work phone or not. I never got to the bottom of that. But whole time I'm just thinking he has such a second phone for work and whatever. But it's actually the phone that he actually uses to talk to.
It's a family phone.
His kids and their moms. So me and the baby mama talked on the phone. We had to talk on the phone for like 2 hours. Like, I'm not even gonna hold y'all. Like, we sat on the phone for a minute and she was just saying like all this stuff. She even at one point called his sister on 3-way and was trying to get the sister to like collaborate, you know, with her, like, you know, like tell this girl this and that and this and that. And the sister got on the phone and was like, talking to me, saying like, I need to stop talking to her and I need to not listen to anything that she's saying, because he called to his sister and his mom back at home telling them that he loves me and that he wanted to marry me and that she was crazy. Basically, the sister was like she was crazy, and then she ended up banging and hung up. So then the baby mama is basically like talking shit about them, saying like his family, they just they just corroborate his stories and they just back him up and they don't hold him accountable for nothing. Then she's talking shit about the whole family. And so then at that point I'm like, okay, this is getting a little like too much. So I'm like, okay, like thank you for, all the information. I appreciate it. Again, at the time she was very nice. She was very sweet. I just really thought she had like great intentions on just telling me, like be careful. That's really what I thought she was coming for. So once I got everything that I needed, and then after the whole sister thing, it was just got kind of weird. And so I was just like, all right, girl, well, I'll talk to you later, and we get off the phone. So that conversation with the baby mama happened on the Thursday. Now, mind you, I said that weekend we were supposed to go out of town. So he left Friday with his friends to go out of town for the little birthday trip. Now, we still haven't spoken. Like, we didn't talk no more on Wednesday. We didn't talk at all on Thursday. We didn't talk on Friday. Now, this is where it gets a little, y'all don't be mad at me now. So on Saturday, I go to a concert. I'm drinking. I'm having a good time. And I just started crashing out. Y'all know how it is when y'all get drunk, okay?
No, we
like,
don't.
Blame it on the alcohol. Y'all heard what Jamie Foxx said. Blame it on the alcohol. So I'm drunk and I'm crashing out. I'm blowing this man phone up. Because I'm just like, I want to know why he lied to me. Like, why would he be all that perfect and then just fucking lie like that? Like, what was the point behind all the motherfucking lies? So he had me blocked. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm not even about to sit up here and cap. He had me blocked. So I started calling him from this girl phone that I was with. I'm like blowing his shit up. I'm blowing up. He answers it. And he's like, hello. And I'm like, yo, like, it's me. We need to talk. Like, yo, hit me or like something. Like, we need to talk. And he's just like, I don't want to talk. And I'm like, no, we got to talk, my dude. So he was also out, and now he doesn't drink. I don't drink like that. We're both like social drinkers. We don't drink like that. So one or two drinks were lit. So he's already out like with his friends too. So he's drunk as well. So I'm blowing up his phone. I'm drunk. He's drunk. We're just like, really nothing is getting accomplished here. We're really just getting on the phone for 2 seconds. I think either him hanging up, I'm hanging up, then we call it back, and then it was just going back and forth. Then we get the texting, and I'm like, call me. I need to know why you was lying to me. So I'm crashing out on the man's phone. I'm not gonna cap. So he unblocks me. He finally unblocks me because the friends are telling him like, you need to talk to her. Like, I don't even know what he even told the friends, because mind you, the friends the whole time they're thinking I'm coming on a trip. So I don't even know what he told the friends. The reason why I didn't come on the trip, because it was like last minute. Remember, this shit happened on Wednesday. They went out of town on Friday. So I don't even know what he told the friends on why I didn't come on the trip. But I know he said that he told them like that we kind of like fell off or whatever. And so when I was like blowing up his phone, the friends are like, you just need to talk to her, like just fix it, because he done told them about me, told them that like he loved me, he want to be with me, he want to marry me, whatever, like we was locked in, like whatever, like shit was going good or whatever. And so they're like, well, what the fuck, like fix it with her, like we already know how you feel about her, so like answer the phone, fix it with her. So they're telling him like, answer the phone, what is wrong with you, answer the phone. So he unblocks me, and then we're like going back and forth. Now again, I was drunk, and I think we was doing this from like maybe 11 o'clock at night to like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. We ended up falling asleep on the phone and everything, but I really don't remember much of the conversation. The only things that I remember him saying is like that he lied to me because he like self-sabotages. Again, he was drunk, so anything that he said that night I really don't want to hold against him, because like I already know like when you drunk you just be saying shit like you don't even really know what the fuck going on, you know what I'm saying? Because even for me, I was just going off. I don't even really fucking know what I said, but he was basically like, he was trying to tell me why he lied, but it wasn't making no sense. So we're not even gonna even dive into like that conversation because it doesn't really matter. Anyways, we ended up falling asleep on the phone that night. And then we talked a little bit the next morning. So that was Saturday. So then Sunday, we ended up like I said, we ended up falling asleep on the phone. So when I wake up on Sunday morning, we're still on the phone. And I'm like, yo. And he's like, what's up? And I'm like, we need to talk. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, well, when I get back, like, just give me some time. When I get back, we gonna talk. So we didn't talk that day, I don't think. I want to say it was still a couple days until we ended up talking. And he showed up to my apartment with roses and a letter and like all my little favorite snacks, and he was like, can we talk? So I let him in, y'all, so that we could talk. All I'm gonna say, because I don't remember his full-blown explanation at the time. I don't remember what he said on like why he lied. I don't remember, like I really don't remember our whole back and forth. But what I will say is the man got a mouthpiece on him, so whatever he said, I was like, okay, like we could just like figure this out. Like let's just try to figure this out. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's not beef. Let's not be going back and forth. Like, let's just sit down and, let me ask you these questions that I have. And you can tell me, what's going on, and we can figure this out. So I started to tell him, I'm like, well, you told me to go talk to your baby mama, so that's what I did. And this is what she said. So I'm telling him everything the baby mama tells me, and I'm like, she said you got 6 kids by 6 different women. She tells me that you're 33, you're not 28. She tells me like you don't have no degree. Like, she tells me all this stuff. I'm telling him everything that she told me. Now, he was like, yes, he did lie about his age. I never actually got a real explanation behind why he lied about his age. I have my own theory on why I feel like he lied about his age, but I don't know why he lied about his age, y'all. I don't know. But he did tell me he does not have 6 kids by 6 different women. He has 4 kids by 3 women. And whole time I'm thinking like, if this baby mama is like going so hard, like she must be like the first baby, either the first baby mama or the last baby mama. She's the middle baby mama. So it didn't make any sense to me. I was confused as fuck, because I'm like, if this is the middle baby mama, why the fuck is she going so hard? You done had kids after her or on her or whatever. What the fuck? She's the middle baby mama. I don't know. So when the baby mama was sending me like screenshots and stuff, like he was like talking to her like good morning baby and all this I love you and the whole family shit. Like none of that shit was a lie. He was doing all of that, and he said that he does that because that's the only way that he can like communicate with his daughter peacefully. If he pretends that he loves her and he wants to be with her and he wants to make it work with her, then he's able to have a decent relationship with his daughter outside of like being cool with her. Then it's like dramified. He can't ever speak to her. She be blocking him on the baby tablet, and he just wants to be a dad to his daughter, and the only way to keep the peace is to pretend that he wants to be with the baby mama, the crazy baby mama. He then go on to like explain to me like the kids and their ages and their names, and like tells me about the other baby mamas, and like he has a decent relationship with the other moms. The other moms are cool, you know, they've moved on with their life, so there's no drama. He takes care of his kids, you know, how he's supposed to, and it's nothing. The only problem that he has is with that baby mama. So then, of course, he starts to start making me feel bad. Like, damn, maybe I shouldn't even hit her up. But you're the one that told me to talk to her, so then that's your fault. You should never tell me to talk to her. You should tell me what I needed to know so that I didn't have to talk to her. But then he's, like, basically saying, like, you know, now he's probably not going to be able to talk to his daughter because she's going cuckoo nuts because I done told her all this stuff, and now she's mad and blah, 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 blah. So we basically sit there and talk for, like, a couple of hours, and he's still, like, telling me stuff and trying to, I guess, get the truth out. I'm asking him a bunch of questions. Again, I don't remember. I didn't record this part, y'all, so I don't remember. I can't really tell y'all what, you know, we ended up talking about. But, you know, we ended up talking, and then he ended up leaving, and we kind of just were, you know, still being cool and still going out and still kicking it while I was in Alabama. But then that damn baby mama, the damn baby mama starts going nuts.